Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Messy Desk. A few years ago, I worked pre-sales at a fintech startup. My desk was tiny, crammed into a cluttered office that already felt like a storage unit. So I kept things simple. I only put on my desk what I needed at the moment, and when I left for the day, I cleared it completely. No mess, no chaos. One day, as I was heading out to a customer meeting, my boss stopped me. Grumpy boss, we'll call him. He frowned at my perfectly clean desk and said, "I don't think you work much. Your desk is always empty." What? So I decided to play along. I opened one drawer, pulled out all my office supplies and dumped them across the desk. Better? He just stared at me. So I emptied a second drawer. Stacks of customer documents, paper reports, spread them out like confetti. And then it happened. The man smiled warmly and said, "Yes, it looks better now." That was the moment I realized I stepped into a madhouse. A month later, I quit. I was done with the chaos and nonsense. A year after that, I found out the company had gone under, swallowed up by its biggest customer. I can't say I was surprised. The next story is called Come In. Far too long ago, I worked a student job at a cinema. It should have been simple. Front of house, helping customers, getting along with people. But we had Bob. Bob was the most obnoxious location manager I've ever met. The kind of guy who thought a minimum wage student job was a personal kingdom. Schedules went up 2 weeks in advance. Sometimes you got great shifts. Sometimes terrible ones. Sometimes none at all. We all swapped shifts with each other, updated management, and generally kept things running smoothly. Then came coursework season. I had a big deadline and told management, weeks in advance, that I needed that weekend off. I planned carefully, made it clear, and felt good about it. The new schedule went up. And of course, Bob had put me on Saturday. I tried swapping shifts, but no one wanted it. So I told my direct manager, who was reasonable, and Bob. And my direct manager said she'd take care of it. Perfect. Except, fast forward 2 weeks, and I'm drowning in coursework when my phone rings. Unknown number. It's Bob. He never calls me, so I instantly know it's bad. "Why you not in today?" he snaps. "I told the manager weeks ago I wasn't available. I'm working on a deadline. You are on shift. Come in or find another job." I needed the money. So I threw on my uniform, trudged to the cinema and walked straight up to him on the floor. "You told me to come in," I said. "So here I am." Then I smiled. Now I'm leaving. And I turned around and walked straight back out. Bob was speechless. Couldn't say a word. And the best part? I kept the job for another 6 months, before moving on to something with better pay and fewer Bobs. The third story is called No English Allowed. A while back I signed up for a beginner-level French course at a local community center. It was a cozy little class. Older folks, travelers, a couple professionals, and our instructor, Mademoiselle Claire. Claire was lovely, but also very, very French. And she had one strict rule: no English in class. It sounded great in theory. Full immersion, the fastest way to learn. Except this was day 1. Most of us didn't even know how to say hello yet. Still, she made it clear: speak English and you'd be punished. Ironically, she said this in English. Fast forward 3 weeks. We are doing dialogues in pairs. My partner is completely lost, whispering to me in English for help. Cue Claire swooping in like a hawk circling prey. No English, not one word. I tried to explain, but she cut me off. Silence. French only. Alright, fine. You want French only? You got it. For the entire next week I went full petty compliance. When she slipped into English to explain something complicated, I just blinked and said, "I don't understand," in French. When she emailed homework instructions in English, I acted like they didn't exist. During drills, I answered everything in broken, overly literal French. even when it made absolutely no sense. By the 5th time I raised my hand to ask in French what the work for homework was, Claire finally broke. She sighed, dropped her shoulders and said in English, "Okay, some English is allowed. Merci beaucoup, Claire." The last story is called Pick It Up. When I was 16, my family moved across the country, from the north down to the south. New school, new culture, new friends. The group I ended up with had this one girl. Let's call her Lana. Now, Lana had this habit of letting people treat her badly, if it meant she got attention. Like, she literally let a boy draw a target on her forehead, so he could launch spitballs at it. I was always nice to her, sympathetic even. Whenever she'd get upset at how far people pushed, I'd tell her, "You need boundaries." But sure enough, she'd just let people walk all over her again the next day. One afternoon I was heading to the trash can, when I noticed a balled up piece of paper on Lana's desk. I asked if she wanted me to toss it for her. She said yes. No big deal, I was headed that way anyway. But apparently, that tiny act of kindness convinced her she could climb up the social ladder by stepping on me. Because later, during study time, teacher gone, class unsupervised, Lana decided to put on a little show. She looked at my best friend, we'll call her Amanda, and announced, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Hey Amanda, watch this." Then she locked eyes with me, dropped her binder on the floor and said, "Pick it up." The whole class froze. Amanda looked at me and whispered, "You don't have to pick it up." But oh, no, I wasn't letting that slide. I smiled and said, "It's fine, I'll pick it up." Lana leaned back, smug as could be. She really thought she had me. So I picked up the binder, walked right past her outstretched hand, dragged a chair over to the bookshelves at the back of the room, climbed up and shoved her binder on top of the tallest shelf I could reach. I climbed down, looked her dead in the eye and said, "There, I picked it up." Amanda absolutely lost it, laughing so hard she could barely breathe. Lana on the other hand turned red and immediately whined to a boy in our class to get it down for her. Bonus irony, she needed that binder for our next class, but I cut in first. I've always been nice to you. This is between me and Lana. She disrespected me, and all I ask is that you stay out of it. He looked at me, looked at her, then apologized to Lana and stayed seated. Lana whined for a good while before finally caving and apologizing. That's when I told her, "I am more than willing to help you when you need it. That doesn't make me your witch. It makes me a good friend. So be a good friend back and treat me nicely." After that he helped her get it down. And Lana, she never tried that on me again. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.